going, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, last video was, well, we cut up our 8.8, took 2 7/8 inches out of it, mocked everything up, welded it all back together, get it ready to fit up underneath that car. So, now I know a lot of you guys out there follow me on Instagram have seen I have not posted too many pictures of the car lately. Well, because my house kind of caught me off guard. I know before that we had that big freeze, had a pipe break. Father-in-law came over and fixed it. A couple days after that, another pipe in the house broke, so my wife just shut the water off. And I went to go fix that one, and I just kept finding more and more little leaks. And like somebody took 20, 30 pieces of copper tubing they had laying around, sweated them all together. It was just a mess. So spent it's taking a lot of my time down there, but decided to take a break, come up to the shop. Now here's the 8.8 that we put up underneath the car. This is the unnarrowed 8.8 we put up underneath there to kind of figure out what kind of clearance issues we would have and to see if it would even work. And well, we've done some test driving on it. It did. And so, but now, as you guys see, it's on the ground. I got it out. Here is our narrowed 8.8. It is just sitting in the car right now. I figured you guys have seen me pull and install the rear end in this thing enough. So I saved you guys from all that. Just went ahead and took out that old rear end. Got the narrowed one sitting up in its place. I still got to get up underneath there, check our angles. Last videos when we installed that other one, before you guys do any of that, make sure to always double check your angles before welding in the pads and everything. That way you just have a good reference on where everything goes. And if you get that off or you eyeball it, you will have a massive vibration. It'll just want to tear itself apart, premature wear on everything. So always double check your angles. So right now I'm gonna get myself set up, get up underneath this car real quick, and set our pinion angle. All right, under the car. If you guys remember the original 8-inch that was underneath this car, the pinion angle was 3 degrees. The tail shaft angle on the transmission was also 3 degrees. So we got our little angle finder right here. Like I said, if you guys, I love this thing. Is really awesome. I got it at Harbor Freight. You can pick it up other tool put shops or on the old internet as well. So, but anyways, it's got magnets on it, sticks to everything, digital. But anyways, we're gonna see where this one sits. We got 2.1. See the angle from right here. 2.1. So you see where our pinion angle is a little off. Now it's just sitting in here and the U-bolts are snug, so I'll be able to grab that here real quick and just kind of give it a little twist. Like I said, nothing's welded. Just basically in there, 2.9. Let's see if we can get just a little bit more out of it. 3.1, 3.3. That's fine. We can come down a little bit. Maybe not. 3.1. After you smack them, it's definitely a good idea to wait a second, take it off, kind of let it reset, put that back up there. 2.8. All right. Let's give it just a little bit. All right, so we're sitting roughly at 3 degrees. That is awesome. So I'll go ahead and snug it down. All right, so Painted angle's at 3 degrees. That's what we wanted. It matches the original 8-inch and the other 8.8 as well that was in this car. Like I said, we got that from a guy who traded me for my 8-inch. It was underneath the Mustang already, and that angle was 3 degrees as well. So we set this one up at 3. Now I want to show you guys another thing too. When we narrowed this 8.8, you guys can see this is a 3 1/4 axle tube, and on this Explorer they all neck down. And you can see right here it kind of necks down right on the edge of this U-bolt. So I'm going to pick myself up some like 1/4 inch round stock, clean this up, kind of bend it right here, weld that in place to keep this from sliding off. But you can see how close to the edge it sits. We'll go ahead and come on over to the other side as well, kind of show you about how it sits the same way, as you can see. So the outside U-bolts sit really close on that shoulder. So like I said, I'm just going to grab a piece of 1/4 inch round stock, cut about a 2 to 3 inch piece out of it, round it off to sit flush on that tube, weld it to the tube. That way I'm not worried about that U-bolt sliding off that shoulder. There's other 8.8s out there that are smaller. They're like a 2 and I think 2 3/4 axle tube. But this one came out of the Explorer, so it's got the big 3 1/4 with 31 spline axles. But enough of that. So we got our painting angle set to the 3 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead also too. I'm gonna put the axle in. As you guys saw, I do have the axle and brake rotor sitting on the other side. Over there on that side of the car is kind of a pain in the butt to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and put the driver's side axle in, put the brake rotor on as well, and then we're going to set the original or my wheels up, both sets, see where they sit in comparison to where they were before. So kind of give me an idea. I know I'm going to need new rims for this thing, but I'm hoping that at least one of my sets I can still use for the time being till I get another set of wheels. So but anyways, let's go ahead and get this axle tube, the driver's side axle tube put in, and take a couple more measurements. Okay, so we got the axle in, got the little C-clip in, got the center pin installed, keep the axles from moving in and out, keep those still while we're making adjustments. Got a little visitor. Say hi, Benjamin. Hi. But, so, let me show you guys here real quick. Whoop. Now on this side, the driver's side, I went ahead and put the drag radial on there. You guys can see how wide it is. And if you look right here, it is hitting the leaf spring. Come in here. Put our little tape measure there. You can see how far away from the rotor it is. I don't know if you guys can see that real quick, but it's about between 1.5 inches and 1 3/4 inches from hitting. It's hitting the front lobe bar. The wheel is kind of crooked. Excuse me, big guy. And over here on this side, I've just gone ahead and installed the other wheel. Now you can see it's a much smaller tire. If you get up in here, you can see that I'm roughly 1/2 inch away, maybe a little less, from hitting the leaf spring. And that wheel is pushed all the way against the brake rotor. Now this tire here is a 4.5 inch back spacing. Those are the very first wheels I ordered for the car. The other ones are a 5.5 inch back spacing that I ordered from Jegs a long time ago. They were blims. Couldn't pass them up. I think I paid 50 bucks a piece for them. So I went ahead and bought them knowing they wouldn't fit. And on those I had to run a 1/2-inch wheel spacer, which is right here. I'm sure I've showed this before, but I had to run this with those tires, or that combo, to get them to fit, which turned it into kind of like a 5-inch backspace. Now, just tossing numbers in my head from where this sits right now, it looks like I should probably be running a rim with a wheel with a 3-inch backspace, and that should fit just fine. So I will double check that number before ordering new wheels. But at least with the other ones, with the smaller tire, I can still run those on the car. I can move the car around. I'll just put these 1/2-inch wheel spacers in there to give me a little more clearance, to make sure it doesn't hit the front of the wheel well. So that's where we're at on that. No big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and get this drag radial off, put the other wheel and tire on, put the other wheel on, get it bolted up. Also gonna install these wheel spacers on those, get them a little bit farther out away from everything to make sure it clears when we jack the car up. So like I said, we'll install these, put the other wheels on, snug up our U-bolts, and then pick the car up, put it underneath its own weight. I'll also install the drive shaft too, so that way you guys get a good look at the drive shaft angle on this setup. Double check our measurements, and I'll go ahead and start tack welding stuff into place. All right, wheel spacers, everything is on. It actually took me a little bit because I had to put everything on. Say hi, Seth. Hi. Everything is put on. Put the car underneath its own weight. I did have to bring it back down, loosen up the U-bolts, slide the rear end back and forth. Now I'm pretty happy with it. I'm within a 1/16 off both sides, and you know that could change, especially going down the road on a leaf spring car. It moves a little bit anyway, so not too worried about a 1/16 of an inch. Get up underneath here and show you guys what it kind of looks like. So you can see with the wheel spacer installed, and this is just going to be like a rough estimate. I'll give you a little measurement right here. So from the edge of there, whoop, there it is. Just the edge of the wheel, the tread wear to the leaf spring is 1.5 inches on that side. Come over here. These are, like I said, quick measurements, because I can spend all day climbing underneath this car measuring. But see, if you come off the edge of this whip here, get that number up in there, about 1.5 inches, as you can see from the edge of the tire tread. Of course, that's not where I did my final measurements. I did between the rotor and the frame rail, leaf spring pads, outside of the axle, lots and lots and lots of measurements from different points. If you're doing this to your car too, and you bought it used, or you've had it for a few years, you're gonna find some neat stuff when you go take a measurement. You're gonna realize things, body panels, something's a little off. I do remember this car was, when I bought it a long time ago, passenger side quarter panel did have a crease going down the side of it. Thought most of it was out, and during all these measurements I found it's still about a little over 1/8 of an inch and 3/16 or whatever farther in than the driver's side. Bummed about that, but can't see it unless you take a tape measure to it. But anyways, enough about all that. Like I said, but the wheels, it's sitting underneath its own weight. It's off the jack stands. Actually, get up underneath the car real quick as well. Told you guys I'd show you what the drive shaft looks like installed with everything re-centered. Climbing up underneath there. Ooh, bouncing off everything on the way. Let's get this guy out of here. So now from the tip, you can see transmission all the way back. You can see how well it sits up inside there. If you guys remember on previous videos how close this yoke was to the floor, and you can see how much farther away it is now that it is more centered in the car. did come all the way back, coming down. So now you guys can see, really see, sits much better. All my angles are within, from the transmission tail shaft to the rear yoke. I did have to take that yoke off again, or took the drive shaft off, because that really is the best spot to measure your pinion angle. I was doing it from the bottom of the housing, backside. Bottom of the housing, I noticed, I wasn't paying attention at first, but it has a slight angle built into it already. So it gave me a false reading. When I first jacked the car up and double checked my drive shaft and everything, it was way off. So I took the drive shaft out during the whole reinstalling, uninstalling, moving things around. Reset my pinion angle as right between 2.9 and 3.1. The angle on the tail shaft of the transmission is about 3 degrees. And the, let's see, I'll give you guys a quick look at the, just spin you all around here. Get my little angle finder here. Get up on the drive shaft. So now you can see there, we're looking at 3.7. Let's get a focus. 3.7 on the drive shaft angle, so 3 on the tail shaft, 2.9, 3.1 on the pinion, 3.7 on the drive shaft. All well within a degree of each other, so that'll work out real well for us. I said it's always a good idea to double check measurements. Take as many measurements as you want till you feel comfortable in your axle placement. But right now I'm happy. Like I said, I'm within a 1/16 side to side. Everything looks good front to back. Angles look good. Only thing I do now is get my welder set up, get up underneath there and tack weld those perches into place, and of course remove that whole rear axle from the car again. Finish welding everything up, get it fully reassembled and back in the car. So, and you guys have seen me do that plenty. So I'm going to end this video right here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for hanging out. If you have made it this far and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button for me. Turn on notifications. Hopefully our next video will be out taking this thing on a test drive, seeing how she acts with the new with the narrowed 8.8 and 355 gears. I'm really anxious to see how that performs with those gears in it. This other one was 373. This new one's 355, so I am anxious. Take it out, test it, take it on a test drive, just kind of feel it out. Order some new wheels for it so we can get our drag radials put back on. And yeah, besides all that, I just have a couple little small things to kind of touch up. We should be getting this thing back on the dyno real soon. Anxious to see if how this car performs with the new turbo. But yeah, again, thank you guys for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, if you're new, hit that subscribe button for me. Share it with your friends. And I'll catch you on the next one.